about that is make it hurt.
What's going on? What's going on, everybody? Welcome once again to the one and only. This is Big Time Show podcast that is being seen and heard on Podbean, the original home on the podcast. Also being seen and heard live now on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and my Twitter page. If you're not following there, it's a Big Time Lou. The new feature has come up on Twitter now that we can see through StreamYard, StreamYard, but Restream. That is the streaming platform that I use. You can now, if you're on Twitter, you can. I'll be able to see your comments now. They have finally allowed it after arguing and fighting, I guess, for almost 2 years or so. We finally now can see your comments there on that. So if you want to use that, I can see it. People got to get used to that because they, for years, have wanted to comment, and if they can't comment and join in on the discussion, we have a problem. So we're there. Hey, I hope you guys will go ahead and share, because I got something real spicy today. Y'all might want to share this one. It ain't got nothing to do with Detroit on the day, but in essence, it does have a little bit to do. Well, it have a lot to do with Detroit, but not the actual breakdown of X's and O's and strategy and all that. I'm gonna do that Saturday, or if not tomorrow. This show here today. Let me speak to these people that come up. What's up, Greg? I see you. Those that are here that haven't spoke, what's going on? Let me peep over there at Podbean. Okay, what's going on over there? Listen, I really got something to say here. I hope you guys will share, like the page, share it to some Cowboy fans, if you will. If you want to contribute to the podcast, you can see the Cash App there. You also can do it by, if you're watching by Facebook, you use those stars. And on YouTube, you can use the Super Chat. If you want to, contribute there. It's not a requirement, but it will be appreciated. All right. I got a lot to say, and there's no time to waste about it. So let's get it going. I hope you guys had a Merry Christmas. I know you're getting ready for the new year. Hope you had a great one. Enjoyed your families and all that kind of stuff. Hope Santa Claus was good to you. Hope he dropped down and left a lot of stuff as he came through the chimney. Hope you had a good time with that. Listen, today's show, as you can see by the title, is Jerry, Roger, and Micah. I could throw a couple more names in there, but those are the main three. I'll tell you what triggered this whole thing off. An amazing, I don't know if you call this a stat. It's not a stat, but it was eye revealing to me. See, I don't get into all the setup and Vegas type stuff, even though I know it exists. I just believe that a lot of times the better teams will win because of scheme, because of coaching, because of better players, because of just the team aspect. I just believe that the team will win. But when you add in all of the betting that is going on, all the DraftKings, the FanDuel, all of these new things, and the people have a whole lot of money involved in it. You got to pay attention because there's some fun things go along when there's a whole lot of money involved. It used to be just boxing back in the day where a lot of controversy would happen. A man would win, he won, but then all of a sudden, get to the judge's scorecards, he lost. You see what I'm saying? Those type of things. And usually they used to be in Vegas, but there's some questionable stuff that's going on everywhere. But because I'm a Cowboy content creator, I'm just going to stick with the Dallas Cowboys. Quite sure other NFL teams could say the same thing, but there's something going on. And I'll tell you why. Here it is. Okay, here's what I saw. Micah Parsons, the all-pro linebacker, gonna be all-pro again this year. Probably the best defensive player in the game, if you ask me. Especially after what I'm getting ready to tell you now. He has not received a holding call since October. It's not innuendo. It's not fantasy. That is the truth. Let me say it one more time. This is the basis of my whole show today. Micah Parsons. We all know how deadly he is. We all know he's just about as unstoppable. Everybody knows it. Whether you're a hater or you're a lover of the Cowboys. Micah Parsons is just about unstoppable. His speed, his tenacity, but his speed is so lethal that you cannot guard him, especially trying to guard him one-on-one. There's no way. And he's at that point now where he also can have double team. The kid is really unstoppable. For real. And I'm not saying because he's a Cowboy fan, I'm just saying it's just the truth. He's unstoppable. And for him, I ain't worried about nobody else. There's others on this team that could cry the same thing. DeMarcus Lawrence comes to mind. But for Micah Parsons to not have gotten a holding call since October, are you kidding me? So in other words, with the NFL and, I guess the NFL or the referees of that particular game, and keep in mind, they don't have the same crew. So it's a whole lot of different crews that does the refereeing for a game. And so what they're trying to tell me, at least, I just take it blunt. And if you're, almost knock my thing down. And what they're trying to tell you as a Cowboy fan, or if you're a hater, what they're trying to tell you is that since October, everybody got a blueprint now how to block Micah Parsons because they're doing such a great job. It ain't even no holding call on them for blocking Micah Parsons. That's what they're trying to tell you. The idea of Micah Parsons not getting a holding call is truly unbelievable. October. It was the middle of October the last time he received a holding call. There's no way in the world nobody is that good to block this kid since October. We almost in January. So in a whole month and a half, almost 2 months, this kid ain't received a holding call. That demands some investigation. It does. It does. He's too dominant of a player. He's too good. He's too great. He can't be blocked. Not one-on-one. And because he has not received one, everybody antennas ought to go up. Now, if you told me that one of the defensive linemen's getting held, okay, I get it. But if you're telling me that this kid here, who I know can't be stopped, and now you telling me that this guy, it demands some investigation. So that's what I'm here for. That forgive me for not being factual for this moment here, this will be my opinion. Hey, what's up? I see everybody popping in. There's no way in the world, these are facts. There's no way in the world Micah Parsons should not have received a holding call since the middle of October. But here we are. Here we are. It blew my mind when I heard that Micah Parsons. Everybody know how to block Micah Parsons. Everybody. Because ain't nobody a holding call on Micah Parsons middle of October. Y'all hear what I'm saying? Nobody. And it's far. But here's the funny part. If you're a Cowboy fan, they don't mind calling on us, do they? I mean, good Lord. I'll get to that in a minute. The Cowboys get holding calls, illegal formations, and I'm not saying some of that is warranted. I'm not saying it's not. I'm saying it's amazing how they can see how the Cowboys are holding. But nobody sees Micah Parsons being held. It's mind-boggling to me. So I had to come up in the day. I'm sorry. I hope y'all hang with me. I'm sorry if I pride myself on being somewhat factual and not getting into conspiracy theories. But on the day, I mean, I might as well shoot. We hired a man in the White House who built his whole campaign off theory and conspiracies. And even after he left, he played the biggest conspiracy of all time and believed it. And y'all know what I'm talking about. Got the whole Republican Party just messed up. All based off a conspiracy. The big lie, as they say. And the whole country is messed up. And everybody likes drama. Everybody likes controversy. Controversy sells. Controversy makes a lot of money. Doing the right thing does not. So today on this show, y'all forgive me, I'll come with facts about Detroit later on. Today we talk conspiracy. It's mine. It's my opinion. Unfortunately, I got the platform where I can give my opinion. That's what all these podcasters do. That's what they all do. They all have conspiracies. They make up their own opinion, and some guys are making millions of dollars off their opinion. So forgive me for not being totally factual today. Totally factual. I'm going with my opinion. So my question is this. Why is Micah Parsons not getting holding calls? That's really that's why I'm here today. Why is Micah Parsons not? There's no way, ladies and gentlemen, no way that you can tell me that Micah Parsons should not have gotten a holding call since October. Those that just joining in, it's these. Now, if you want the factual stuff, here is the fact. This may be the only one. Everything else gonna be my conspiracy. Micah Parsons has not received a holding call since the middle of October. Can't tell me linemen are blocking perfectly. There's no way. No way. So I had to start digging and trying to figure out what in the world is going on here. And just as always, either directly or indirectly, Everything always points back to Jerry Jones. Let me build my case here, and you don't have to agree with it. Again, it's just my theory. Here we go. So I had to think about it. What would cause and see when the NFL wants to do something, they do it, especially the owners. Roger Goodell is hired by the owners of the NFL. He only answers to the owners. Roger Goodell, the commissioner of the NFL, only works, he works for the NFL. His job consists of protecting the brand and all that kind of stuff. But his job is he's employed by the owners of the NFL. Huge paying job, as we all know. Tremendous, huge payday. Here is what I'm trying to figure out. Let's go back. And I'm trying to build my case here so y'all can see this. Y'all be patient with me. I got to show y'all this. All right. There was a meeting earlier. I want y'all to look at this. This is the title of this article that was written in 2022. Jerry Jones makes another run, another run at blocking a Roger Goodell contract, which means that there was an attempt before. Jerry Jones makes another run at blocking Roger Goodell's contract. All right. Now, I told you about the collusion now. Remember when the owners, it wasn't written down, it wasn't said, but I'm quite sure the other owners talked to each other and they came together and blocked Colin Kaepernick from the league. Nobody signed. Nobody has not signed. No matter how ragged his second and third string quarterbacks were, they were determined not to let Colin Kaepernick back into the league. I'm not here to talk about Colin Kaepernick. I'm just proving my point. They colluded together, and Colin Kaepernick has not seen the NFL field since. They when they want to get together, they get it done. Nothing open. It's their money anyway. They can pay whatever player they want, and they don't have to pay another player. So they colluded against Colin Kaepernick. It worked. So it's not above. Can't say they can't get together. But check this out here. Y'all reading it already. Let's look at it together. ESPN headline focus on a profane message from Cowboys owner Jerry Jones to Patriots owner Robert Kraft. The far more important point is that 5 years after Jones tried to keep Commissioner Roger Goodell from getting a new contract, Jones is at it again. This was written in 2022. Pro Football Talk has confirmed the owners by a vote of 31-1 concluded on Tuesday that the league's compensation committee is authorized to negotiate a deal with Goodell. Jerry Jones, was the lone dissenter. In other words, everybody voted yes, let's negotiate it, except Jerry Jones. And Jones, via Seth Wickerson and Donald, Van Natta Jr. of ESPN, told Kraft, the chair of the compensation committee, don't F with me. In other words, that was Robert Kraft at the time, owner of the New England Patriots. He said, excuse me, Kraft said. Don't mess with me, Jones said, modifying his language. All right? So, make a long story short, here it is right here. Here's the main thing you need to remember. In 2017, Jones tried to block Goodell from getting a new deal. Jerry's allies at the time included Washington owner Daniel Snyder, of all people, Papa John. That's one, Papa John of Papa John's Pizza. It's 2017. There's one source with knowledge of the situation tells PFT Jones' frustration likely comes from the fact that he's not on the compensation committee. And due to the fact that no other owner joined him in opposing the measure. Per the source, Kraft wasn't the only citizen with Jones' ear, but Giants owner John Maurer and Browns owner Jimmy Haslam caught some flack too. Last time around, it became a major fight, culminating in Jones threatening litigation and Jones ultimately paying for the legal fees incurred by the league in dealing with his threats. This time, it's far less likely that Jones will die for a second time on the same hill. So out of all that, here's the picture. Here's the picture, y'all. Jerry wanted to be on that competition leagues, as you see right here. He wanted to be on the league's compensation committee. That's the bottom line. He was not on it. He was not on it. He wanted to be on it. He was not on it. And therefore, he held a grudge and then voted not wanting Roger Goodell to get his money. Are y'all with me so far? I really could end it here. Are y'all understanding what's going on? I hope y'all just stay with me. I got some more. So Jerry is blocking at that particular time, trying not to get Roger his new contract, a contract that is heavily compensated with a tremendous amount of money per year. Now, the last time I checked, y'all, I've always heard this statement growing up, and here it is. It's universal across all races. Every race, there are some things that we all share. There's some things that we all share. And I don't care what part of the world you're from. Everybody knows this about a man. There are two things that you don't mess with. Number one, his family. Number two, his money. That's what I always heard my whole life. I ain't got to ask questions. I can just ask myself. It applies to me. You don't mess with my family, and you don't mess with my money. Jerry Jones tried to block a man's money. Let me ask y'all this question. I need y'all to talk to me because y'all quiet. I know I'm building my case here. If somebody tried to mess with your money, wouldn't you be upset? Come on, talk to me real quick. I'm just trying to build my case. It ain't factual. I don't have the hardcore evidence. I'm just using a lot of common sense here. If somebody tried to mess with your money, wouldn't you be mad? And when you're in a powerful position, and you're not so forgiving, okay? And you're not so forgiving, wouldn't you try to find a way to pay somebody back? I'm just trying to figure it out. I'm just asking. If you're not a forgiving person, or you saying we're gonna let bygones be bygones, wouldn't you try to figure out a way to stick it to the person that you're upset with? Now, here's the thing. I'm building my case. Y'all not. I see somebody saying something. I need y'all to answer that for me real quick. Would not you have a problem or trying to figure out a way to get it done? All right. Jerry couldn't stop it. We all know Roger Goodell went ahead and signed a new deal. And Right before he signed it, something else strange happened. Huh? All right. Yeah, okay. Okay. There's something else that happened. All right. Watch this. Y'all hang with me. Share it if you can. So remember, he was the only owner opposed to getting his contract reinstated or negotiating with it. But something happened. Jerry changed his whole demeanor. In March 28, 2023, as you can see, read the title. Jerry Jones has now a new stance on Roger Goodell's contract. Y'all see that? That's just this year in March. It started in the previous year in 2022. Now look what he says. I don't know if you can read it. I'm gonna try to get it up a little bit more for you. Look what he says here. It wasn't long ago that Jerry Jones tried to stop NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell from getting a new contract. Now that Goodell is reportedly expected to sign a multi-year contract extension, it appears that Cowboys owner has changed his stance on the matter. Ain't that something? You know you can't win, so you better try to jump on real quick. Cause see, you finna look like a fool, cause the one that you tried to stop gonna win. So he said his direct conversations with owners are satisfactory, and that's good enough for me, Jerry said of Goodell via Sports Illustrated's Albert Beard. Wait a minute now. He said he had direct conversations with owners. He did not say that he didn't have direct conversations with him. And he said, just because you talk to the owners, that's good enough for me. Well, it should have been good enough for you, Jerry, anyway, because the vote count was 31-1. It was 31-1. The other owners were already on board. You were the only one that wasn't on board. Hello. So since Jerry knew he wasn't going to lose, he trying to get back into good graces because now it's going to be 32. A unanimous vote. It is here. Look. In October, Jones was the only NFL who didn't vote in favor of permitting the compensation committee to start negotiations with Goodell on a new contract on ESPN. Jones had strong feelings against Goodell negotiating the new deal that the Cowboys owner and New England Patriots owner Robert Kraft reported reportedly engaged in a heated argument. Jones reportedly had an issue with how much Goodell was being paid. Wait a minute right there. I thought you don't supposed to worry about what another man making. Is that right, y'all? I told y'all this is just common sense. I'm building my plane here. Just hold up a second. Goodell inked a new 5-year contract extension in 2017. Goodell was paid close to $128 million from 2020 to 2021, according to the New York Times. During Goodell's time as NFL commissioner, the league's popularity has only continued to increase. Amazon reportedly paying close to $1 billion a year to broadcast Thursday night football. Valuations of NFL teams are getting bigger and bigger. So the commissioner is doing his job, obviously, because it's bringing incredible revenue to the league. He's doing his job. Jones got a problem with how much money you getting paid. Something wrong with that picture, y'all. And then he talked to the owners. But he ain't talk to Jerry. Goodell didn't. Doesn't that sound like since he was the only one that didn't vote for it? It seemed like it should have been in a conversation. It should have been just a little talk between him and Jerry Jones. But that wasn't it. He talked to the people that already supported him. Figure that out. So we have obvious tension between Roger Goodell, and Jerry Jones. We got obvious tension. Obvious. 2023, that's March when that statement came out. We're getting ready for the draft at that particular time. Roger Goodell ain't no fool now. Roger Goodell ain't about to get into the media and say, you know, me and Jerry are having serious issues and philosophy issues and all that kind of stuff. We're not having all. He can't do that in the media. You know what kind of fire that would bring. So Roger had to keep all of that inside. Jerry Jones, because no sense of trying to change your stance now. Your real feelings were on that first initial vote where you voted against him getting his money, right? You're fighting against him to get his money. You don't mess with the main possible money. They're threatening to sue the NFL because of, and he got the money to do it, so he don't mind throwing away a little money. Jerry don't mind it. He got money to fight the court. He got money to keep it going. Jerry is the type that'll keep things going just to keep the negotiation from coming. I'm saying, when you got money to blow, you don't mind gambling on that because you know you're going to lose eventually. But if you can hold this thing up about a year or two, you'll love it. You'll love it. You just getting the thrill out of want to be the odd man, That's what Jerry's doing. All because he wasn't on the negotiating committee. How petty is that? And it's not above Jerry not to be petty. Remember, this is the same guy that said, and I'm not about to ask y'all how y'all feel about it. I'm just talking about what Jerry said when it came to the kneeling of the national anthem. What did Jerry say? Jerry said, look, we got head and toe on the line. Anybody that don't do that won't be a Dallas Cowboy. Okay, so what if your stars decide not to do it? You just gonna put them on the Cowboy team? Guys weren't willing to take the chance on that or whatever the case may be. But I'm just saying, how petty is that? He's petty. A lot of y'all want Amari Cooper. Everybody talking about Cooper wanted $20 million, whatever the case may be. That's not the reason why Amari Cooper is not with us anymore. Amari Cooper did not get vaccinated. And Amari Cooper was in Cowboys Stadium, not vaccinated, when the pandemic first started, and they had the bowl game there, and Cooper was on the sideline there with Alabama, as if with no mask, no nothing. He would not get a shot, and then he come down. He got sick. It wasn't long ago after that he went in and let he was not signing him no more. He held a grudge. That's why Amari Cooper's not here. It ain't because he's not productive. It's because he held a grudge. But the amazing thing is, usually when Jerry holds a grudge, can't nobody really do nothing about it. But my question is, here's some more conspiracy. What happens when you run up on somebody that can hold a grudge and has just as much power as you have? That's Roger Goodell. Even though he works for the owners, all right? Even though he works for the owners, the commissioner, has the power to even suspend the owners. Look at Daniel Snyder, even though he didn't do that. Anybody that messes up the brand of the NFL, that falls into the lap of Roger Goodell, and Roger Goodell can do whatever he wants to do, and he has the final say on what can go down. That's what you call power. Even though the owners hired him, even though the owners, he works for the owners, at least trying to push their ideas. When it's time for the bargaining agreement, Roger Goodell is there to represent the owners. He's not there to represent the players. He's there to represent the owners. but he still got jurisdiction over everybody. Over everybody. Don't ever forget that. Roger Goodell have a tremendous amount of power. Some would say he got too much power. It's crazy. Now, out of all of what I done said today, is my opinion that Roger Goodell has a problem with Jerry Jones. So since you can't blatantly come out with it and say it, and so since you can't say nothing about it, you can't really do nothing about it because you're not gonna hurt Jerry. You got to figure out the way to hurt Jerry because you ain't gonna hurt him. With his money. You're not gonna hurt Jerry with money. Jerry's a billionaire. $9 billion right now. He can't hurt Jerry Jones. Not a lot there. But you got to figure out a way to hurt him. So you got to ask yourself the question: what he loves his money, as most billion and millionaires do. But what can I hurt him the most that is equivalent to his money? You got it. The Dallas Cowboys. If I can hurt you one way, he got J.R. Ewing on him. See, that's Roger Goodell. If I can figure out a way to hurt him, because he hurt me by not trying to give me, trying to stop my money. If I can figure out a way to get him, then I'll call it even. Which leads to the referees. I hope y'all walking with me. The referees are hired by a joint venture by the Players Association and, you got it, Roger Goodell. Roger Goodell can kick out guys if he wants to. He can't. He can't. I'm gonna say it again. It's a joint venture of the NFL Players Association and negotiation by Roger Goodell. So February the 8th, and we ain't even got to the season yet, but February the 8th, this was right around at the Super Bowl press conference that Roger Goodell gives at the end of the year on the state of the league and all of this. This is what Roger Goodell said about the officiating, because obviously folks been talking about that for a while. All right, I'm just building my plane here, y'all. Y'all stay with me here. Watch this. This is what our commissioner said about this. I hope I ain't boring y'all too long. This is what Roger Goodell said. Roger Goodell said this. He addresses the NFL official. He said, I don't think it's ever been better. This is what he said at the Super Bowl press conference last year. This is February. I wonder what he would say today. I'm quite sure he's going to say the same thing today. Isn't it incredible? Now, this ain't got nothing to do. Everybody's complaining. This is what he says. And look, I don't think, this is Roger Goodell said, I don't think it's ever been better in the league. Are there mistakes in the context of that? Yes. That's what he said. Quite sure he would say the same thing today. Saying he thinks it's never been better. Rather, our officials are held to an incredibly high standard. When we try to get better, you betcha. Okay. See, he has to answer to me. Not to me, but I'm saying really Cowboy fans. Because it just don't make any sense. It See what Richard Sherman said about whatever championship game that was last year. Worst officiated championship game ever. All that kind of stuff. So here's my thing. You see what he says. He has to say those things because he done put it out in public. He's just not gonna down the referees in public. That would be so unprofessional and really out of his character. Now, what he says behind closed doors maybe have something else. Maybe something else, obviously. But he's not gonna put that out in the street like some of our players are doing and some of the coaches are doing. Roger Goodell would never do that. He don't do it. And I'm starting to wonder, I'm saying, like, there's no way in the world you can say it's better when it's obvious, and just in the case of Micah Parsons. I ain't talking about no other team because I don't know what y'all do. In Micah Parsons' case, there's no way in the world that you can tell me, Mr. Goodell, that anybody can tell me that Micah Parsons is not being held. There's no way in the world you can tell me. Nobody wouldn't believe this, but it's the facts. Again, Micah Parsons has not gotten a holding call since the middle of October. We're almost in January. You sitting here trying to tell me that Micah Parsons hadn't been held? But the same referees see Tyler Smith and Tyron Smith and Terrence Steele hold we get at least 3 to 4 holding calls a game. But nobody don't see DeMarcus Lawrence and Micah Parsons not being held. Nobody for real now. And as we know as Cowboy fans, those holding calls, or as we love to say, the penalties, are killing us. So I started to say, wait a minute now. If Parsons had gotten, one call a game or one call every 2 games, then I'd be kind of hard for me to get up here and say what I'm saying. But there's no way in the world this kid ain't supposed to got at least one holding call. Even the haters got to admit that. But since October, ladies and gentlemen, something going on here that need to be discussed now. Something's going on here. Or something that really is going on. So I'm sitting there thinking, like, I had to say, okay, let's go back to the penalties that the Cowboys are having. It seems to be one of the major setbacks for us. It's been that way for the last few years, but strangely, it is incredible this year. All the penalties. I want y'all to look at this. Now, your boy done his lesson. He just studied the lesson on this show here. I wish I had some more folks here. I need y'all. I've studied my lesson. I want to show y'all how I'm starting to wonder now. See, a lot of y'all want the Super Bowl, and I get it. A lot of us want, our dream is as Cowboys, we want number 6. We want to get there. But I'm tired of the one that can't even get past the wild card round. Because, see, remember, it was Jerry Jones that tried to block Roger Goodell's money. And Roger Goodell seems to be a little petty. He talked to all the owners, didn't talk to Jerry Jones. Remember that. Got a little pettiness going here. So you got to figure out, how can I hurt Jerry the way he hurt me? But let's look at this here, y'all. Let's peep this out. Let's peep this out. Peep this out. Let's look at this. These are the penalties. These are the penalties. Dallas Cowboys are the most penalized team in the league offensively. First line is all I need y'all to see. Offensive holding. Let me blow it up some more so y'all, I know some of y'all squinting your eyes. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Let me get there. Hold on a second. Y'all be patient. I want y'all to look at that offensive holding, which would be the first line. Hold on. Here you go. Look at that first one there. Offensive holding. 23. This is all Cowboys here. This is all the Cowboys, by the way. This is the whole Cowboys. Our most penalized thing is offensive holding. All stars are next. That ain't got nothing to do with Roger Goodell. We just jumped too quick. Defensive offside, as you can see, that's the third wing. They're just lining up. They ain't got nothing to do with that. Defensive holding. Now, here we go. In other words, what I'm trying to tell you is, and when you see the offensive holding at the top, you can see the league average, the second column. The league average is 16.6. That's not a per game. That's just overall. Look at that. 23. The average is 16. Is that incredible? Okay. In other words, what I'm trying to tell you, there's a bunch of stats here, and the flag is mighty loose when the stars are in. When you see that Cowboy star there, the flags are wide open. But as I said before, these are drive killers. The amazing thing is that whoever played the Cowboys, we don't get those calls. It's obvious. Micah Parsons had a holding call since October. DeMarcus Lawrence is being held. I don't see the flag dropping. And that's the only reason why I'm saying it. When they said Micah Parsons ain't got a holding call since October, it blew me away. And I know something is wrong here, and it ain't got nothing to do with on the field. There is a conspiracy that is out against, I ain't gonna say Micah. I'm trying to tell y'all, present you the idea that there's a problem in the revenge category with Roger Goodell and Jerry Jones. And this is the reason why I'm saying Micah Parsons is the best defensive player in the league, because despite of him being held, he still got first team all-pro numbers. He just got to make the play. He ain't going to get no help. Can you imagine if folks really start calling holding against Micah Parsons? Do you know how many times he would draw a flag for real? It got to be at least 3 to 5 penalties a game in holding. Got to be. Do you know how many drives would be killed if they would start calling the flag of the guys that hold Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence? Do you realize that they would be 3rd and 25 and all that kind of stuff? Can you imagine it? It's something wrong with this picture now. It's something wrong with it. It's something wrong with it. It's something wrong with this picture. Micah Parsons ain't got a flag since October in the holding department. But they sure quick to throw a flag when he lined up off sides, though. They see that. They see that, though. But they don't see the holding. And then, of course, here's my whole thing. I believe that there was a meeting. Remember I told you at the beginning that the referees are hired by Roger Goodell. And it's a part-time job. And the Players Association. So the referee got to kind of do what Roger Goodell says, because there's a lot of applicants to be, a referee. The referees at a part-time basis are getting paid $205,000 a year. $205,000 for a part-time job. And if this guy has hired you as a referee, and you want to keep that $205,000 rolling, you're going to do what the commissioner says. Hello. You're going to do it. To be honest with you, it's fun. Let me see. You got the preseason games, that's 4 weeks. Then you got the regular season, that's 18 games, that's 22 weeks. Then you got the playoffs, which is wild card round, divisional round, championship weekend, then the Super Bowl. So now we're talking total about 26 weeks out of a year. It's just half of the year. And you're getting $205,000. I'm quite sure that they are not paying for their plane tickets. I'm quite sure that they are not paying for their hotel rooms. So that $205,000 is legit until, Uncle Sam come get his money out of that. But other than that, wouldn't you do what the commissioner tell you to do? I mean, $205,000. I know they got other jobs. But you gonna keep that going. I really believe that something has been said about the Dallas Cowboys. It's almost like Shaquille O'Neal treatment in the NBA. They didn't make all these calls with Shaq because he was so big, he was so good, he was just a great player, and they didn't call all the stuff on Shaq. I mean, not for Shaq and not against. But he called him against when he clubbed somebody. But they really were not calling stuff for Shaquille O'Neal. It's the same kind of thing I'm saying for Micah Parsons. That's why I say he's the best, because he has to go through folk grabbing his neck. Yet he got to go through folk grabbing his pants. People holding around his waist, and he still got to get it done. And yet he's an all-pro every year. He still got his sack number, but my God, he would have even greater impact on the game if they would just call it holding penalties. It would be just like a sack. It'll be just like a sack. It would be just like a sack if he got it. They're not giving it to him. I believe Roger Goodell had something to say with these referees, because they sure see everything Dallas do. But don't see nothing that the other team does against Dallas. They don't see nothing. They see it, but they're not calling it. So you got to ask yourself, why didn't they call him? Because Micah Parsons, again, has not gotten a call since the middle of October. There's no way you can tell me somebody blocking Micah Parsons that good, that he hadn't received a holding penalty since October. There's no way. No way. No way. So something is going on here. Now, do I have all the perfect? This is just my conspiracy. Is what it is. I believe that there has been a meeting because of the tension between Jerry Jones. And since Roger Goodell just can't hurt Jerry, he gonna hurt him the best way he can. And he hurting him through the ball game. He hurting him through the ball game. You understand? There's no way in the world Micah Parsons should not have received a holding penalty, somebody holding him, since the middle of October. Those are the facts. He has not received a holding call. We all know Micah Parsons get held just about every play. Not to get a call. Something got to be brought up about that. There's something going on here. It ain't cause the offensive linemen are that good. Nobody can hold Micah Parsons one-on-one. And then he's starting to give people that try to do two players on him. He giving them the blues too. You just can't tell me that. Which leads now Micah Parsons. I appreciate y'all hanging with me. Micah Parsons he's going to be the recipient of what Roger Goodell felt with Jerry Jones. This really isn't about Micah Parsons. This really is about, because I done showed you the evidence, this really is about a 5-6 year grudge that Roger and Jerry, now in the camera, they're professional enough to look like, everything cool and all that. But see, it's the behind the closed doors part that ain't gonna never be revealed. If you really believe that Roger Goodell didn't have something to say about Jerry Jones trying to block his money, you crazy. We talking about hundreds of millions of dollars going to one man. You don't believe that Roger Goodell didn't have something to say about that? And something negative to say about Jerry Jones? And do you really believe Jerry Jones didn't have nothing negative to say about Roger Goodell behind closed doors? You got to have lost your mind, man. You have lost your mind. So that's the conversation. Now, Micah Parsons doesn't make it any better because he really believes that the target is on him. And he's right so far. But you're really not the real target. The real target is your owner. So once again, as I said at the beginning of the show, whether it's directly or indirectly, once again, the Cowboys' problems begin and end with one Jerry Jones. Roger Goodell, at the same time, is listening to Micah Parsons going on his podcast and complaining, which is not helping the situation at all. He's really the bystander, but he's really pouring, but he's one that's throwing matches on the fire. And if he keep talking, he gonna get some of his money, but the fine is gonna come. But Micah Parsons is really not his issue. Because see, I can go back since Jerry tried to block his money in 2017. Man, look, DeMarcus Lawrence have been complaining about holding for how long, y'all? And how he's been getting held. I can go, this was before Micah Parsons. I can go to Robert Quinn. Y'all remember that? I mean, the list go on and on with players before Parsons got to Dallas. It started back then. We don't get holding calls. We don't. We never really have. But right now, it's more highlighted because of the player that Micah Parsons is and what he can do is really highly, it is highly elevated now because Parsons is a candidate for defensive player of the year. He's an all-pro linebacker, all that kind of stuff. It's really highlighted now. But when Michael gets on his podcast, start talking. He starts saying this and that about officiating. Starts saying this about the holding call and throws up the memes and throws up the pictures of him getting held. That only makes things worse, and it makes the referees saying, since you trying to show us up, we ain't even looking at you in the game. We don't care. We know you being held, but we ain't gonna call. Because you can't show up, though, the guys that you're asking for them to get it done. You can't show up and show them up on a weekly podcast. You can't do that. You can't do it. Although what he's saying may very well be true, you cannot get up there and then expect those same guys that you're talking about to give you a call. It's just not going to happen. Then the funny part is, Micah comes on every week after every game. So it's not hard to figure out. Go to the game and see who the officiating crew was. Guess what? It's a good chance you're going to see that same crew again in another game. You really believe that you're going to get a call after you done highlighted these guys? They just officiated your game this week. You may see them 2 weeks down the road. You really believe you're going to get a call, man? You need to leave all that complaining up to people like us. When I say us, I'm talking about the new media. The people that are not controlled by nobody, like myself, like my brothers who do all the podcasting. You need to let us say that. He don't need to say that. Trust me, our voice can get out there. Our voice gets out there. There are people that are listening. There are people that are watching. Trust me, if he come from the right person, it'll catch like wildfire. Trust me, I done seen it. He don't need to be saying nothing because you messed it up. But it ain't your fault. It ain't his fault that he's getting punished like this. Micah Parsons said in a tweet, he said, "Whatever I've done to the officiating, I'm sorry." That's what he said. And I wanted to tell him after that, I'm going to text him. I text him, tweet him. Tell him, Mike, I don't care how much you say you sorry. Really ain't about you. You need to tell Jerry Jones to tell Roger Goodell, tell him I'm sorry. That's who need to tell. That it ain't about him. It's that Jerry Jones needs to drop it. Look, he got to fix it because there's been something going on now. Somebody somewhere said we're not going to call holding calls for Micah Parsons. We're not going to call holding calls for DeMarcus Lawrence. We're not going to do it. My thing is, I'm just believing it was without a doubt. Yeah. Well, Shane, I'm not going to say it's fixed. I'm saying that in this case, it is a conspiracy. And if you've been with me from the beginning, I showed you what the conspiracy is. This is personal between Roger Goodell and Jerry Jones. And I believe that Roger Goodell, because he can't hurt him in his pocketbook, can't hurt him with the fans, because the Cowboys game will always be sold out. You can't hurt him in his pockets. You can't hurt him that way. So you got to figure out a way to hurt him with the thing that he wants more than anything, which is a chance to play in the Super Bowl and win it. And he has found it. We're going to call holding calls on the Cowboys, but we're not going to call holding calls against the opposite team. That's it. Micah Parsons, he's good. We all know he's good. Roger Goodell say, hey, he's too good of a player. He's going to make plays, but we're not going to give him all that advantage by calling all these holding calls against him. We're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. We're going to, if he make plays, it's just going to be because of his ability. We know he's going to do that. He's a great player, but we're not going to help him. We're not going to do that. Now, we're going to do that against the Cowboys when they're on offense. That's why the Cowboys just about lead the league in penalties. Now, we're going to do that. We're going to call holding. We're going to call illegal motion. We ain't got no problem with false starts and all that. That's on the Cowboys. But we're going to call any and everything against the Cowboys. Offensive line. But we're not going to call nothing against the team that they're playing their offensive line. We're not going to do it. Because I got to make Jerry Jones pay for what he did to me. Even though I got my money, even though I got it all, I'm still ticked off. Jerry think he invincible. I got something for him. I'm going to call him. I'm going to make sure that the Cowboys don't get too far out. They're good enough to make the playoffs. We can't stop that. But in a very important game, I figured that if we can get the Cowboys instead of a 3rd and 6, if we can get the Cowboys and put a holding call on it, which is 10-yard penalty, and make it 3rd and 16, Dak Prescott ain't going to be able to pull it out all the time. That means they lose the ball, they lose their possession time, and we get to save the other team and give them a chance to pull it out. Because Micah Parsons ain't going to get no call. That's what we going to do. We're going to make sure of that. And so far, it happened. And it's really going to be highlighted, y'all. See, we won over 10 games. We got 10 games. 2 more games left. Okay. It's really going to be highlighted in a few more weeks. The whole world watching playoffs. That's when it always happens. It's really going to be elevated then. So really what I'm saying is Micah Parsons can't do nothing about it. There's nothing he can do. He can complain all day on his podcast. There's nothing he can do. Absolutely nothing. Hey, Doc. I see you over there. Jerry Jones has, and it took him not getting no holding calls for it to see. It took this to finally have people start really highlighting it and researching and trying to figure it out. Conspiracy is real. And guess what? I may be 1,000% wrong. I very well may be. Because this is really just opinion. It's conspiracy. But I believe I'm 1,000% right. Because you just don't mess with a man's money. That's what Jerry Jones did. That's what he did. I showed you all at the beginning. Those that don't know what I'm talking about, go to the beginning. Because I try to point out what I consider evidence to build my theory and all that. Just trying to tell y'all. Just trying to tell y'all. Just trying to tell you. It's some highly questionable stuff going on in places that will never be validated by somebody's mouth. Remember the foundation. I'm going to open up the line. Remember the foundation. And for those that are looking for Detroit, I'll talk about Detroit Saturday. And in essence, what I just said will have something to do with Detroit, because if y'all looking for Micah Parsons to go off and all that kind of stuff, it ain't going to happen. It's not going to happen. It's not. Micah Parsons get 2 men on him. They can hold him, grab him, hug him, and everything else. He is not going to get anything. Eastside, I just saw you properly. Don't even call in, son. I already told you. You don't call in until Houston wins. That eliminates you right there. Just trying to find a way to get in, start running your mouth as usual. That's all. Won't get a chance. Don't even waste your time. I see your number down because I got you locked in my phone. I'm going to look at the idea and act like you didn't even call. I'm already telling you that. Don't embarrass yourself. But this really ain't got nothing to do with football today. It's where it does, but what it does, it's a shame that it's not an even playing field. Why am I saying that, Joe? Since you just came in, there's no way in the world that nobody's going to be able to convince me in saying that offensive linemen have been that good against Micah Parsons to the point where he has not received a holding call since the middle of October. Oh, that has been the only factual statement that I have said of this podcast so far, this show. That is the truth. Micah Parsons has not received a holding call since the middle of October. There's nowhere in the world that should happen. When everybody know that Micah Parsons is probably the greatest disruptor in the league, there's nowhere in the world he's not getting held. There's no way in the world. No way. Now, does that mean that the Cowboys will win specific games? No. Does that mean that the Cowboys would be, number one outlet? No. But what it does mean is, just like against us, some of these holding calls are game-changing plays. We missed out on some game-changing plays because the refs won't throw the flag. And it'd be obvious. It is obvious that he is being held. He can't get the call. Those are possession. Those are possession plays. Possession enders. That's what this stuff will do. And we can't get the call. We can't get them. And I believe it is a conspiracy. The reason why. And I also believe that the problem is Jerry Jones. If you came in late, you're going to have to rewind and see why I say that. Jerry Jones is the reason why Micah Parsons is suffering. It's Jerry Jones. Sooner or later, which means the Cowboys got to be dang near. The Cowboys have to be dang near perfect for us to win the game, because the flag gonna go against us eventually. They gonna see the holding calls for us, like we've seen, but they don't see DeMarcus Lawrence getting held. They don't see Micah Parsons getting held. They don't see Fowler getting held. They don't see Armstrong getting held. They don't see Sam Williams getting held. They don't see it. They don't call it. But they see ours though. It's incredible. So the offensive linemen that play the Cowboys really have the blueprint on how to block Micah Parsons. And everybody has followed this since. Whatever they doing, it's working, because he sure ain't getting no holding call. Everybody know that's a lie. Ladies and gentlemen, I rest my case. The great words of Johnny Cochran. I rest my case. Hope I didn't bore you too long. Online is open. You can disagree. It don't mean I'm right. You may not agree at all. You may not agree at all. And nobody's wrong or right here on this one. Because as I said, this is a conspiracy theory that I just gave you. It is a conspiracy theory. Is he being held? Yes. Ain't no doubt about that. There's too much evidence to show, too many memes, too many pictures that show it, too many replays that show that he's being held. Is he getting called? Nope. Just the truth. It is what it is. It is what it is. It's Jerry Jones' fault, y'all. Again, if you don't know what I'm talking about, you have to go back to the beginning, because I ain't going to recap it again. You have to see it. As I tried to prove, and, give you a little evidence on why I said what I said. I care less what to say. But see, here's the thing, though. Here's my counter to what you said, Shane. Here's my counter. Again, I'm going to be repetitive. The media already going to say anything about the Cowboys, and people like Eastside in here. It's just another thing. But here's the part that they can't deny. Micah Parsons has not received a holding call since the middle of October. It's almost January. You're going to sit and tell me for at least, 10 or 11 weeks and Micah Parsons has not been held? See, that's my comeback. And then you got to show me tape after that. I say, I don't have to show tape about Micah Parsons getting there. Because everybody done seen it. Everybody, that same media that you talking about and then the Cowboy haters, they done seen the memes of Micah Parsons getting held. They can't deny it. It's right there in their face. You see what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? There's nowhere in the world nobody can tell me that this dude has not been held since October. No way. And they know that. They know that. There's no way that you can say it. That's my counter. Somebody gonna have to tell, and most of all, show me that Micah Parsons is getting blocked properly. October is the last time he got a holding call. October, the middle of October. It's almost January. You got to be kidding me. It's got to be a reason why he hadn't received those calls. It's got to be a reason. It's got to be a reason why. Nowhere in the world you can tell me that kid ain't somebody's that good. They can block Micah Parsons. Team after team. Since October was here. And we done played a different team every week. Or we may have been repetitive with our division folks. There's no way in the world. No way. I mean, and the Cowboys are one of the leading teams in the league getting penalized. I think we're number one. I ain't just talking about just that. I'm talking about all penalties combined. Some of those were self-inflicted, but a lot of those are questionable. And then, of course, the lack of penalties. I can't tell you when the last time. I mean, when do we get calls on defense? When? Nobody don't get flagged for offensive hold. You can't even tell me that. I mean, it's horrible, man. And that's the part somebody gonna have to prove to me. It showed me that Micah Parsons is being blocked plainly, without being held. If somebody showed me that since the middle of October, I will come right back on this microphone and say I was wrong. I ain't gonna have to, because everybody know I'm right. The middle of October, again, I say. That's my answer to your comment, Shane. Appreciate it, though. I can care less what they say. Most of them gonna be Cowboy haters anyway. They know Micah Parsons being held. Michael know he's being held. That's why I get on this podcast and say it on there. He know he being held. Now he ain't helping by getting on there and talking about it and making actually the situation worse. But you know. Well, Shane, I'm gonna say this. You say those non-calls probably cost us some games. Well, as I said before, those when it get called on us as far as holding those, usually those are drive killers. Which means you got to get the ball up and give Dallas to give the offense the ball back, and it's you're right. You just don't know what could have been. Just with a simple call, throw the flag. It's a hole. It's obvious it's a hole. You could have. I'm just saying. It kills our drive. 3rd and 15s and 3rd and 12 and 3rd and 20 something. You know, we need the same thing on our end. Can't get it though. They won't throw the flag. Again, Micah Parsons has not gotten a holding call since the middle of October. Something's wrong with that picture. You talk your tail off. Yeah, that's mind-boggling to me. It really is. All right. Appreciate all y'all hanging with me. Some of the teams we just weren't good enough, Greg. Just got called like it is. Some games we weren't good enough. When the catch happened, the dead drop shoot you. They knew they were wrong. That's why they changed the whole rule. That's when you know you're right and everybody is wrong. As soon as the dead, the very next year, they redefine what a catch is. See what I'm saying? Some of these years we weren't good enough. Some of these years we, weren't worth talking about. But this right here, what I'm talking about, it's carrying a lot of weight. It's carrying a lot of weight. Like I said, it's almost kind of like the NBA when Shaq was playing and he got fouled every time he touched the ball. They ain't caught. Some of that stuff was just obvious. They ain't calling it because they figured he had such an advantage. He was so big and so dominant that they weren't going to give it to him. And maybe that might be the cause of Micah Parsons. He's just so good and so dominant. Maybe that's what it. But I think it goes. I think it's deeper than that. I think it's Jerry Jones and Roger Goodell. That's what I believe. All right. If I didn't kill y'all spirit, I will see you guys Saturday. And on Saturday, I will be talking about matchup between Detroit and the Cowboys this Saturday evening in Dallas. Our last home game of the year. Jimmy Johnson finally going into the Ring of Honor. But it's a big game coming up. That's what we need to talk about. Got to get back. Got to get the W. You got to win. Need it bad. No, Joe. In essence, you can say, premise. That's what it's going to turn out to be. What you just said. But what I'm saying is that there's a conspiracy, not against the Cowboys, but there's a conspiracy against Micah Parsons. And I'm saying it's not Micah Parsons is the problem. So you just got to go back. The conspiracy is against Jerry Jones. Once you go back and look at it, Joe, as soon as I get off, go back and listen to the first 10, 15 minutes if you can. You will see why I'm saying what I'm saying. It's Jerry Jones, and it's a Jerry Jones, Roger Goodell problem. That's what I'm saying. All right, I'm done. I will check you guys out Saturday. It is what it is. For all you that are looking at this and you didn't come in on the live, I'll check out all your comments. You can check that out there. I appreciate you guys always hanging with me as I went on my little rant here. I will see you guys Saturday before the game, way before the game starts. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the one and only. I ain't scared to say it. Yeah. The Big Time Show.